Well, today is Green Monday, one of the busiest online shopping days as we inch closer to Christmas. While online shopping can be convenient, it can also lead to some cybersecurity issues. Experts say you need to be aware of this time of year of your credit card purchases and make sure your passwords are solid so you don't get breached. Here now with more is Dan Izydorek. That's a great last name, Dan. And of course, you are the president and CEO of PC Miracles. Good morning. Thanks for being here with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So what are some ways that cyber criminals are getting into people's accounts during online shopping?
There's many ways, but some of the ways that people are getting into accounts today are you'll get an email that might look like it's the tracking information for the order from the place you ordered from, say it be Amazon or any of those sites that are well used. You click on it and then you go in to log in and you're actually on a site that looks identical to it, and they gather the information. So you got to make sure that when you're getting those notifications, instead of just clicking on them, just go straight to the retailer online site, log in and check your tracking that way. That's the safe way to do it.
Now, are there some computers, phones, laptops that might be more at risk than others?
You're going to have your home computers are going to be the highest ones at risk because multiple family members are using them. Kids have a tendency of just opening anything. They click on anything that really draws their attention in. And typically your work computer is going to have a little bit higher level of security software. So just really be careful at home. Tablets are going to be a lot safer than a PC itself because they're less of a targeted threat.
Now, how do you know if a site is secure or not to shop on?
So the way to look at that is when you go to the website, first thing is just make sure that up at the address bar that there's a lock showing in the address. Secondly, you want to also make sure that you typed in the URL. You actually are at the right site. What's happening is a lot of the sites out there, the hackers and cyber criminals have created identical sites that instead of the I in the or the L in the URL address, it's a number 1, so it looks almost identical. But you just want to make sure you're going to the right site.
And what should we be concerned about when it comes to using public Wi-Fi?
So public Wi-Fi, people might not realize that when you're on a public Wi-Fi, it is quite easy for somebody else on the public Wi-Fi to gather information that you're sending across that connection. So really the best way to do it, if you do need to use public Wi-Fi, is to get what's called a private VPN. You can usually get them for about $5 to $8 a year. And there's many services out there. One of the more common one is called NordVPN. And what you do is you just turn that on, and all of your traffic on whatever connection you are on is completely safe. And make sure that no one else can see that while you're at the Starbucks, while you're at any sort of public Wi-Fi.
Now, when should you hold back on giving some information to websites, and what information should you hold back on?
So you can go and, obviously you don't want to give things like social security numbers, things of that nature. This time of year, it's more common that you get some credit card theft. So what you could do when you are going to a site, a lot of them like you to store your credit card information for the next purchase. I'm not a fan of that personally. But also, if you log into your Visa, your MasterCard, all those sites, they'll give you a temporary credit card number that you can utilize when you're on those sites shopping, and it only lasts for a day. And by doing so, if your number is compromised out there when the bad guys go and use it, it's non-usable at all. So.
Now, how should people know what to click on and not to click on, especially when it comes to work emails? Because a lot of times when you get something to your work email, you think it could be a prospective client or someone with your business.
Yeah, so it's key that, first of all, the businesses have a good filtering software in place. So for any business owners out there, just make sure you have an up-to-date business level of scanning for your email. There's Barracuda, there's a bunch of different companies out there that provide it. The other thing is, if you do have that in place, you're still going to have things that trickle through. You still want to make sure that you, again, are, when you're clicking on those links, you're just taking that additional amount of time. You might be getting an email from somebody that looks legitimate, like a vendor. We've had many of these things that come from outside, or it might look like a coworker. Just take that additional amount of time, look at the email address. That's usually the key. Usually the actual email address, somebody has made it to look like that person that you're familiar with, but it's got something a little bit different in it and can cause a lot of problems for you.
All right, Dan with PC Miracles, thank you so much for being here with us this morning and giving us that great advice.
Thank you. Have a great holiday.